as you can see on your homework paper, these are systems. The reason these are systems is because all of these problems have more than one equation that you're going to solve at the same time. How many equations does problem number 6 have? 4 equations and 4 variables. That's really hard to figure out by hand. The way you have to do that by hand is you have to eliminate one of the variables x from all of the equations. And that takes a whole lot of hard work, but the calculator can do all of that hard work for us. The type of function we're going to use is called a matrix. That's one. Matrices is plural. All a matrix is a rectangular array, a rectangular system of numbers. All of these in here are called elements to the matrix. Matrices just means more than one. And these numbers in here are called elements. Now, the elements inside a matrix have to be numbers, not variables. Okay, so there is incredibly more to learn about matrix than you're going to learn in the next 20 minutes. You can take a whole semester-long college class in all of the uses of it, what a matrix is, what it can be used for, the many type of problems that you can solve it, what a matrix is, why what we're doing works. We're not going to get the why. I'm going to show you how to get the answer. That's what you want to know anyway, right? Now, we're not going to do this part. What we need to know when we look at a matrix is how big is it? That's the first thing we need to know. A matrix is identified, the dimensions of the matrix is how many rows does it have. Rows go just horizontally. So how many rows does this matrix have? Has 4 rows. How many columns does it have? So it is a 4 by 3 matrix. The first thing we have to know before we can put a matrix into our calculator is how big is the matrix. It's always rows and then columns. We used to tell our students like RC Cola, but I don't think anybody drinks RC Cola anymore. Do y'all even know what an RC Cola is? So my analogy doesn't work very well anymore. Okay, example number 2. This matrix right here has 3 rows and 2 columns. It's a 3 by 2 matrix. See where that, you write that on your paper? This has 2 rows and 3 columns. The first number is the number of rows. The second number is the number of columns. This has 3 rows and 1 column. Can you identify the number of rows and the number of columns? These numbers inside the matrix, they're called elements. And then you have a long list of steps. The steps are not difficult. You just, there's a lot of button pushing, but no difficult mathematics here in this lesson. And we are going to go over here to problem number 3A. Can you find problem 3A? Now leave your paper opened up so you can see problem 3A and you can see the steps at the same time. This is the kind of system we have been solving. Doesn't have an inequality. It's just an equal system. And so if you wanted to solve this by elimination, would you choose to eliminate the x or the y? I would choose the y because this already has one positive and one negative, so I just need to get the right number in there, and then I can eliminate the y. So what am I going to do with this second equation so that I can eliminate the y? I would multiply this one by 3, add up the columns, that would cancel out the y, solve for x, substitute back in to solve for y. How long do you think that would take you? 2 or 3 minutes? Could you do it in 3 minutes? You think? Well, the calculator is going to do it faster than that. It is going to do all of those same steps, but it's going to do it much more accurately than we can, because do we sometimes make a sign mistake? Is the calculator going to make a sign mistake? Or a multiplying mistake? Or an adding mistake? Nope. The only mistake the calculator is going to make is if you put in the wrong numbers, then of course the calculator will give you the wrong answer. And so here is what the matrix equation is going to look like to go with this system. And 3 and 1 and -4 and -3. And these should be square brackets. Do you see that what I did to get this matrix is I dropped out the x's, I dropped out the y, I dropped out the equal sign. I did not drop out negative signs. What's your question? This one right here is -1, so yes, this one right here should be -1. You should have, that's what I was talking about, if you put the wrong numbers in, then the calculator would give you the wrong answer. You drop out the x's, you drop out the y's, you do not drop out the negative signs. Okay, so I am going to take this matrix, put it in the calculator, and the calculator is going to solve it by elimination. So, let's see how to do that. First of all, I need to turn my calculator on. Now, you may have some stuff in your calculator, so go ahead and clear that out. Would you read step number 1 right there at the top of the page? Matrix. Right here is the word matrix. So you're going to push second matrix. What's step number 2? Arrow over to the word edit. What's step number 3? And so I see it's already on 1A, and so I just push enter. Now, you may have some stuff already in your calculator from the previous class period. Would you read step 4? Okay. How many rows do we have here? 2 rows. How many columns? And so that's what we're going to enter into our calculator. 2, enter, 3, enter. What is which step are we on now? 5. The elements it's talking about are these elements right here that we wrote on the board. So you put the number in and you push enter, and you put the next number in, and do you see when it does that, the calculator automatically goes across the row? And when you fill that all in, it goes down to the next row. If you have something in your calculator, just go ahead and type over it. Step number 6 says to push second quit. Do you see the word quit right here on top of the mode button? Push second mode. We've entered all of the numbers into the calculator, and then we need to get out of that screen. Okay, step number 7. What does it say? So we're going back to where we were before, second matrix. Except this time, where are we going? Arrow over to the word math, not the word edit this time, the word math. Jeremy, read the next step. RREF. Now, that would be the number, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, A, and B. On your notes, do you see where it says RREF? Put the letter B next to that. Because do you see that A and B are almost the same? Some people in my earlier class were choosing the A instead of the B. You have to go all the way down to the B and then push enter. Aaron, what's the next step? Second matrix enter brings that calculator A where we stored all of our data. It brings it into this function. And then the magic happens. What's the last step? Push enter. There's the answer if you know what you're looking at. What you are looking at is, this is what the screen looks like on the calculator. What this means is this first column was what variable? X. That means 1x equals -1. And that eliminated. It means that eliminates and 1y equals 0. These ones and zeros are what the calculator eliminated. It does all those elimination steps that we were doing by hand. This is your answer column. This is your X and this is your Y. The last column here, if this is all ones and zeros, this is your answer column right here. And so that would be -1, 0 for your solution. The last column is your answer column. These ones and zeros mean that things eliminated out. Okay, problem 3B. Before you can put it in the calculator, it has to be set up like elimination, where all of the X's are lined up, all of the Y's are lined up, all of the Z's are lined up. But does this one have a Z? So this is going to be a 0 right here. If the coefficient is not there, there's going to be a coefficient of 1 or -1, depending on what the sign is. So this is going to be the matrix equation that goes with this system. The same numbers, drop out the X, drop out the Y, drop out the Z, here's what it's equal to, drop out the equal sign. How big is this matrix? How many rows does it have? How many columns does it have? See if you can follow the steps to get this matrix into your calculator. Mm-hmm. Hold on. This is what you should have gotten for the answer. This is your answer column. This is your X, your Y, and your Z. If you didn't get that, then you need to go back and check your matrix. Probably you entered in a number incorrectly. If you have all of that, if you got the right answer here, then please go ahead and get started on your homework. Please get started on your homework. Please check your answers up here on the board as you do your work so that you can make sure you are completing your problems correctly.